What is up, guys? It's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within, and today I want to talk about Alchemy. Moreover, I want to talk about why Alchemy is looking to be an absolutely incredible gold-making profession in the War Within, and why you really want to have Alchemy on especially your alt characters. Now, we're going to talk about alt armies here, but not just from a cooldown crafting perspective, because yes, Alchemist does have transmutations, or transmutes, whatever you want to call them, that they can do on a daily basis. That being said, they have access to so many more things that make Alchemists absolutely great, especially when it comes to gold making in the War Within. Now, before we dive deeper into this video, I want to say that I have a gold making guide for the War Within, which if you've been watching any of my previous videos, you probably know about already, but if you're brand new here and it's the first video you're into, well, here we go. It's a gold making guide that I've made from scratch for the War Within, where we're talking about every single profession in depth and how to spend your knowledge points in different ways to make gold with different professions. So for Alchemy, there's like 4 different ways you can spend your knowledge points to make gold in 4 different ways. You have potions, flasks, you have transmutations, and you have reagents, so you can focus on any of those 4 different things and spend your profession points in different ways to make gold that way. Now, every single profession has so many different paths you can go down to make gold, and the War Within truly looks like it could be the expansion to make a bunch of gold. And if you want my help to make a bunch of gold, well, check out this gold making guide. It's once again a guide, a written document that will teach you what you want to know about gold making. In addition to that, you get access to a gold making Discord server that, according to feedback, has been equally valuable, if not even more valuable, to the guide itself, where we're talking more about gold making. I chime in with my opinions, and we have discussions going on a daily basis with like hundreds of messages from people talking about how they plan to make gold. So we're teaching and learning from each other. In addition to that, in the same gold making server, I will give you guys early access to videos and exclusive videos. As a matter of fact, right now at the time of making this video, we have 3 videos in exclusive access. That means there's 3 videos right now that you can get access to by having my gold making guide that will never be public, at least not by me on YouTube. Somebody else might make them, but I will never cover them publicly. So at the moment, that's 3 really good videos, by the way. One that is talking about an exclusive specific strategy to make gold at the launch, and 2 ways that will help you in every single way with every profession and give you a massive head start in the War Within. So check out that gold making guide, the link down below, and if you do get the guide, thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me, and it's directly what allows me to spend so much time on the beta right now, finding ways to make gold, and doing so many, I'm testing so many things on the beta, both for crafting, farming, and just finding ways to break the game. So once again, your support is what makes that possible, and I just want to say thank you. Either way, let's dive in. So, let's talk about Alchemy. Now, when it comes to Alchemy, the first way that you can make gold is obviously through having transmutes, like when we're talking about this from a gold making alt army perspective. The first way is by doing transmutes. Now, you can unlock transmutes and get better at transmutes by going down the thaumaturgy route, which I've made videos in the past. I'm not going to cover this too much in this video, but you can definitely spend points here for thaumaturgy and then make gold from transmutes. So transmute is basically an act of thaumaturgy that you can do, and it has a daily cooldown to it. So right here, you have thaumaturgy, you will do this one, and you can then learn the different types of transmutations. So you have Gleaming Chaos, for example, which by default you have 3 crafts available, they recharge over time, and the more talent points you spend, the more of these crafts you will have, and the faster they will recharge. It's basically a cooldown craft, the way transmutes has pretty much always worked. That being said, there's another way to make gold with Alchemy, even if you don't spec into transmutations, that you really should consider taking advantage of, and that is spending your concentration. Now, this might look pretty obvious by default, but Alchemy is maybe one of the most profitable professions to have to spend concentration on long term, because having gone through enchanting, for example, we can at some point guarantee pretty much every single enchant at quality 3 after a few weeks, maybe a couple of months. After a few weeks, you can start guaranteeing the highest quality of enchants. If you go through leatherworking, you can at some point guarantee leatherworking craft as well at quality 3. That being said, one of the very few professions I've found so far where we have some craft you will probably never be able to guarantee unless something crazy happens, is basically alchemy. So going down to alchemy, I have spec'd this one to be able to make flasks and phials, and for example this one, this is a flask of alchemical chaos, requires 755 skill. Just let that sink in for a bit. 755 skill to make it quality 3. Now granted, I currently don't have any tools, I don't have any accessories, but even if we get this at blue, that is 18 plus 11 plus 11, so we can get 30 skill points from our tools plus accessories if we get the rare ones, which getting the rare ones will be a cost of 900 acuity, which most people will not get for a few weeks. If you know the secret sauce, you will have it on day 1, but most people won't get that for a couple of weeks. So that is 30 more skill points, bringing us to 492. We're still lacking 257 knowledge points, or something like that based on my math here, like 250 plus. We're lacking like 260 plus knowledge points. Now, I have spent quite a few knowledge points here. I have maxed out everything for flasks, and you can definitely get more skill points than I currently have, but this is based on week 1. If you are able to get 80 knowledge points at week 1, which you should be able to, by the way, you get about 20 of them from first time craft. If you look at the amount of recipes we have, about 20 from first time crafts. Then you have 24 from treasures, that is, now we are on 44. Then you have 20 from renown, so 64. Then you have 6 from weeklies, so 70. And then just 10 from various sources. So getting 80 knowledge points on week 1 is definitely doable. Most people might be able to get 40 to 50. It just depends on the amount of degen you are going. But let's just assume you go full degen, you get 80 knowledge points week 1, and you spend them this way. That way I have now completely filled out a week 1 kind of toolkit, so we're basically a week 1 character right now, just lacking tools and accessories. You are not able to even remotely close to get this to quality 3. The only way to get it to quality 3 is by spending a bunch of concentration, 406 to be exact. That being said, we do have some other flasks we can make. This one, for example, is 595. We're still 200 skill points away, by the way, from getting this one as well, but definitely closer. But 595 is a lot, and as you can see, all of these flasks, the regular flasks, are 595 skill. So getting flasks at the highest quality you can will be very difficult. Now, for profession flasks, we are a little bit closer, but once again, you can see they are 760 for most of them, and then you have a bountiful seasons, which is 840. So I have made this one to spec into professional flasks right here. So basically the first one is a all over flask, giving you 2 skill points per point spent, and then I have gone down to profession phials to get professional flasks. And the reason for that is that I believe professional flasks will be huge, especially if you sell them at quality 3, which will be the basis of this video, kind of. But going back to my regular flasks, this one is 755, this one is 595. At the moment, assuming 80 knowledge points week 1, we are not even remotely close to be able to get these to quality 3, so we have to spend our concentration. That being said, once you have maxed out your flasks, or I guess I should say, once you have maxed out your fantastic flasks spec, you can then go to Alchemical Mastery, and that will also give you some bonuses that will affect flasks. So this one, for example, gives you 1 skill point per point spent for a total of 50 skill points, and you also get some bonuses along the way. So we're gonna go into the week 2 right now, and maybe some more weeks as well, and just spend a bunch of knowledge points, and see if we are at any point able to, after you do this, by the way, you can then spec into Blessing Blossoms and max this one out as well. For example, you can spec into Arthur's Spear, and the more of these that you spec into, the more recipes you will get and the more skill points you will get in a certain craft as well. So for example, when you max this one out, you get skill points in crafts that use that reagent. So Arthur's Spear right here, Blessing Blossom right here, Orbinid over here, then you have Lure Drop over here, and finally Microbloom. So you want to focus on the one that is used in the craft that you are using. If we max these two out, for example, then we go to some recipes that use those. We can go down to profession phials. They use lure drop Orbinid, and this one uses lure drop Orbinid, lure drop Microbloom, and this one uses lure drop and Microbloom. At this point we now have 625. But as you can see, we have 625, we're lacking almost 130 skill points though, a little bit over that, but we have still not put in any of those three, so we're going to put some knowledge point into those three as well and see if we are at some point able to guarantee these at the highest quality possible. So at this point we have now spent a hefty amount of knowledge points on alchemy. As you can see, we have maxed out alchemical mastery by maxing out everything here, and we have maxed out fantastic flasks. That being said, you don't have to max out every single one of these trees, only the ones relevant to the craft you want to max out. So going back to profession equipment, for example, you want to focus on lure drop, and you want to focus on either Microbloom or Orbinid. So all of them uses lure drop, 2 of them uses Orbinids, and 2 of them uses Microbloom. Now, they will overlap, so you will get more from each of those, but you can see we're still on 721 out of 760. But the good thing here is that we are lacking 39 skill points, and by getting all of the best tools that we can, we will get 40. So getting all of the tools that we can, you will actually be able to get these to quality 3, guaranteed every single time without using concentration, but it will take you weeks, if not months, to get here. So if you look here, the tool gives you 18 skill, this one, the accessory, gives you 11, and this one also gives you 11. 11 plus 11 is 22, 18 plus 22 is 40. So 721 plus 14, we're now on 761, 1 skill point over the requirement to be able to guarantee quality 3, and once again, in order to get these phials to quality 3, you would have to go into fantastic flasks over here. You would want to put 25 points over here, and for the multicraft equipment, or for the multicraft proponent to this, you also want to put bulk production. So 80 knowledge points spent into fantastic flasks, then you have to spend 50 knowledge points here, so that's 130, then you also have to spend 40 here and 40 here, so you have to spend 210 knowledge points, and then you can guarantee quality 3, with the multicraft equipment at the same time. You can go to 185 and get quality 3 if you don't have the bulk production, but then you want to get the bulk production after a while. So either you need to have 185 knowledge points and skip bulk production, or 210 if you want to emulate what I have now. In that case, you would go fantastic flasks first, so 30 points, 25, 25 for a total of 80, then you would do 50, 40, and 40. And once again, just focus on the 2 nodes that are relevant to the craft that you want to make. And the thing is, once again, once you do this, you will only be able to get guaranteed quality 3 off crafts that use both lure drop and Microbloom. If I want to go into this one, for example, for Orbinid, I have to spend another 40 knowledge points into Orbinid. Now we're on 250 knowledge points. How many months do you think that is? That will take months. So for the first, let's just say 3 to 4 months of the War Within, the only way, and I repeat this, the only way to get quality 3 flasks will be by using your concentration. So the actual profitability on those quality 3 will be directly led by the people that are willing to spend their concentration to make these flasks. And the more skill points you have, the less concentration you have to spend. But you can see also on regular flasks, we're also almost 40 skill points away here as well. So even on the quote-unquote regular flasks, you're not even able to guarantee these until you put those knowledge points in. So you would have to max out lure drop, as you can see right here, and then also get rare tools. 900 acuity, by the way, for 3 rare tools, 300 each, and you need all 3 of them to get the last skill points you need to cover this gap. So once again, even regular flasks, for the first months, 3 to 4 months, the only way to get them at quality 3 will be from people that are spending their concentration to give them to you. Now the good thing here is that a bunch of us have already set up alchemy characters for transmute, and as you can see, all of the transmutes we are doing, you do not spend your concentration. Well, for some of them down here you can, but for the most part you don't spend your concentration. If you look at this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, concentration does nothing. So you are free to do your daily cooldowns for example, Gleaming Chaos. You can do that, use all of your cooldowns on that, and then spend your concentration on flasks or potions, whatever you want to focus on. The only thing then is that you want to get enough skill points to the point of being able to make quality 2 flasks, and then use your concentration to get those to quality 3, and make even more gold that way. So you might actually make an argument for not putting all of your knowledge points into thaumaturgy. So instead of maxing this out specifically for thaumaturgy, you might want to go into the flask component as well, if only to get flasks to quality 2, and maybe the bulk production. So when you spend your concentration, if you get a multi-craft proc on those quality 3s, that's going to be huge. So you might even just want to spend enough skill points here, so 10 skill points, to then go down to bulk production, so 10 plus 25, so 35 points, and then go into thaumaturgy. Spend your first 35 points just to get the multi-craft, and then go to thaumaturgy, and then just craft quality 2 flasks or potions on a daily basis, and hope for multi-craft procs. And once again, use your concentration on flasks or potions, and you're gonna make a bunch of gold that way. Either way, that's basically what I have for you today. I just really wanted to talk about the profitability of doing quality 3 focused craft for flasks and potions, mainly flasks on my end, especially, oh yeah, I want to say one more thing, the profession flasks. Especially at the start of the expansion, everyone is going to focus so heavily on professions anyway, and these flasks will be beneficial to both crafters and the gold farmers. So for example, the flasks of bountiful seasons, this one, increases your finesse during the summer, or resourcefulness during the winter. Then you have this one for ingenuity, for example, that's going to be massive, by the way. And then you have this one for crafting speed, that's kind of meh. I mean, if you want to craft something over an hour and you have a 10% increased, that's basically 10% more crafts. It's not bad, it's just eh. But crafting speed or gathering speed is good, and then you have True Sight, the one giving you more perception while you're farming, and specifically for herbalism and mining, this also allows you to see camouflaged mining and herbalism nodes. So anyone doing herbalism and mining really wants to have these phials, and if you have them at quality 3, you just get more perception. So quality 2 and the quality 3 of these phials will sell like hotcakes at the start, so making these phials could be absolutely great, and I just wanted to point that out. Either way, that is what I have for you today, so hopefully this was helpful, hopefully you learned something new. You will be able to get quality 3 flasks, guaranteed, by the way. It will just take months, like once again, 210 knowledge points, that's going to take a while. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like down below, it really helps me out, and check out the War Within Goldmaking Guide if you want to have, if you want my help making a bunch more gold. Once again, it directly supports me, and I make it my personal job, my personal goal, to help you make as much gold as I possibly can. Either way, thank you for watching. I'll see you again in the next video very soon.